Well, happy Tuesday evening. Greetings from the beautiful sandy shores of Olympia, Washington. Cami and I are here at our beach house. We've been having a great day planning our women's retreat that's coming up August 17th for you ladies looking for incredible wellness and all sorts of great lifestyle tips and great things like sound healing, all sorts of good things. Join us. It's going to be great. But what we wanted to do tonight is share with you our traditional intro to patching. And you're going to notice, if you've been on this call before, it's going to be a little more brief because we have taken this to another level, because some of us have been using these patches a little while. And we want to give you a little more deeper insight into the body, the amazing bodies that have been designed to self-repair. And I think you're going to find it of interest. We're going to talk about toxicity and things in our environment that might bring on issues that we don't understand why we got this. And we're going to help us understand why. But more importantly, we're going to help you understand how our body can get rid of that with the aid of what we're going to share tonight. Our patches, our Life Wave, very amazing changing patches. So I'm going to turn it over to Cami, and she is going to take it from here. For the first portion. Sir, you want to switch?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
We're gonna do the Chinese fire drill around the table.
That was for me.
All right. We're doing the Chinese fire drill now. Well, welcome. We're going to be chatting about this revolutionary, healthful technology that we have been introduced to and very honored to share with others. We can't keep it a secret. So are you seeing the whole screen? Okay. Slideshow.
Need my assistant?
I think so.
Oh, we need to hit the slideshow button.
Oh, from beginning. There we go.
Sorry. Right.
There we go.
You got it. Okay.
All right. So, there's a thing called in coaching, if you keep doing what you're doing, you'll keep getting what you're getting. And chances are you're here to learn about this because you're not living your best life. And so just wanted you to, I just thank you and want to praise you for taking the time out this evening to join us. So, just so you know, Tracey and I are, if you go down to participant there, you can meet them. Find the open, everybody but me. Now, am I muted?
Okay, I unmuted you.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Okay.
You're unmuted and you have a camera on.
We're getting feedback. So,
just want to turn it.
there.
Okay, excellent. We're gonna turn it on.
Okay. Are we good? We're good. Okay. Just so you know, Tracey and I are not doctors and we are not medical professionals. We do a whole lot of studying and of this information and of many other modalities of healing and different things. However, we are not here to treat, diagnose, or treat medical conditions. We won't talk in that format. please consult with your medical professional regarding your issues or treatment. We're just going to offer some information to you and show some experiences that other people have had. And yeah, we're just going to move on. Okay. As you know, as we age, babies have a ton of stem cells. As they're growing, they repair really quickly. I remember when my kids were little, they'd fall and bump and get a bruise and it looked horrible that day. And then you'd wake up the next day and you're like, oh my goodness, they looked so much better the next day because their stem cells are so fast acting. But as you know, you and I, and as we age, that stem cell repair cell activity declines as we age. By the time we're 60, we only have about 10% of those cells that can become anything in our body active. And it's kind of a downhill slide after that. So the faster we age, the slower we heal from things. So we would just love to share information tonight. And we have this exciting to share with. But first, before Joyce is too far down the road and is busy, we wanted to have her share her testimony. And if any of you are on who have experience with the patches, we'd love to hear yours story if we have time. But Joyce, please, if you can unmute yourself.
Okay, can you see me?
Yes,
We see you,
ma'am.
darling
No
lady.
kid. I'm driving, okay? My brother's airplane got in a little early, but I can do this because I am a woman of many talents. Okay. Just let through.
Uh-oh. We just lost her. Froze.
Tonight. I love doing this stuff because let's see. I'm going to give you just a little background. I've been with LifeWave for 3 years. I got in October was it? It's 2021, I think. Anyway, how I got into it is my sister is a precinct committee officer in the area. Kathy Coker. A lot of people know Kathy Coker. Sister, what do you know about stem cells? And so she told her, and she says, you know what? I think my sister would maybe be more, because when she heard it was a direct marketing company, she knew I was kind of the salesperson in the family. So she said, I might be interested. Well, I'll tell you, those patches, she gave me 5 patches. We were blessed because I think she gave some for both of us. And they sat for about a week. And so I just felt this nudge, and I know it was a nudge from the Holy Spirit, just saying, pay attention. You need what's in that little package. So anyway, I got him out, and the first night I had really bad eczema on my elbows. And I would eczema, nothing I did really was working, just temporary little fixes. And Marilyn said, listen, you're the one that has a little bit of an issue. So why don't you put them on? And before I knew really it was recommended to put them on during the day because they give you more energy. And God knows I need more energy. So I put them on that night, and I'll tell you, the next morning, she came in my bedroom and she goes, let's look. So we could not believe how they were down. The redness, the rawness on my one elbow was down, because I had one worse than the other, was down about 50%. And it kind of closed up. And we just went, oh my gosh. So I put them on the second night, and then the second morning it's like down to just a pink. So we were sold. And probably the biggest testimonies were from my family members. it was my brother Terry is a cowboy. He rides horses, gets a lot of injury all the time. And he always walked around with a kink in his neck. It was just for years and years. He got hurt, I think, roping horse or something. Let's put, and I didn't anything about the X39. So Terry puts that, I don't even know, I don't think we even had an Eon on him. It's possible, but I think it was just the X39. And he called, and you'd have to know his personality. He's just really kind of quiet and reserved, a little bit different than I am. I'm pretty out there. But what did he say? He said something about, I could just do jumping jacks or something way out of his character, because for something that hurts somebody for that long a time to just be plagued, always would kink his neck. That was just part of who he was. He kinked his neck all the time. He was always popping that neck, popping that shoulder, and he doesn't do it anymore. And he was just so excited to be able to not have that. So that was an amazing testimony. So our whole family, before I knew it, we were all on the patches, and then one by one. And of course, I don't know if you've ever had Eric on here, but probably the biggest, once I found out about Ice Wave, that my biggest testimony, because I had just been introduced to it, Ice Wave, Eric got him out of pain in a second. He had back pain, so that was my biggest testimony there. But you know, for today, you guys, I have to say, I fall back on, you know, we have so many patches, but X39 and Eon are always the go-to. X39 is just the mother patch of the company. And I have learned so much. I'm addicted to all the doctor calls, the more education. What I tell my people now, and like I said, I've been in 3 years, so I've got a pretty good client base. But I have found the people who stick with it the most are the ones who keep themselves educated. And our challenge as leaders is to keep that information in front of them, and little nuggets here and there, and an encouraging word, but just to let me still there. But I, for the life we have, the that they're wearing, the ones they commit to.
We might have lost you, but
did you lose me?
yeah, we did, if super briefly, but we appreciate you, and thank you so much for your energy and your testimony.
Somebody hasn't responded, but you might
I was just telling somebody today about your dog, and I was there. They have a dog that had gone through some cancer tumors taken off and different things, and then I was telling her about your success story with your sweet dog.
Lucy. Yeah. Well, first, can you hear me now, Cami?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. The first thing with Lucy was she was, the vet said she had severe arthritis through her spine, and I started patching her, and I think I've had the patches on, and then she got cancer and had all those tumors that were protruding from her little, like, personal area. And the vets were pretty amazed at how overnight the X39 and the Eon, you know, took that down, the tumors way down. But at the same time, she had cancer and they shriveled those tumors up. I asked them to please go in, because x-rays are expensive for our animals, and would you see how her arthritis is? And they said she has no arthritis. It was gone. So, and that, and I think she was out of that pain for less than a year, but it was about a year later that the cancer came. And so that's when I had the x-rays taken, but I could tell by the way she was jumping and doing her tricks that she wasn't in pain. So I'd have to say, after patching her with my old patches for about 6 months, That took care for arthritis, and those are on my old patches. I'd stick them underneath her collar. So arthritis and the cancer tumors.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joyce. We appreciate you so much.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing. Like if you didn't share this with your brother wouldn't have shared it with Tracey. Tracey wouldn't have shared it with me. And so that's a beautiful thing. Lives have been changed. Carla's on the phone here. So lives have been changed because you chose to share. So I appreciate you so much.
You're
So
welcome.
thank you. Now, we have another person who said that they would love to share. And where are you, Cindy?
Can you unmute yourself, Cindy?
You're still muted, my dear.
Now, can you hear me?
Okay.
Now we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. I will. Okay. I was fortunate enough to have someone introduce me to the patches. I had gotten E. coli in 2019. Actually, not just E. coli, I had Hashimoto's, and then I ended up with E. coli and Lyme disease in one fell swoop in a trip we took. So I was pretty sick. I just kept getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And in 2023, I was diagnosed with vasculitis autoimmune, which basically attacks all of your connective tissue. So it was never whether I was in pain, it was how much pain was I having? Could I get out of bed that day or not? And so I had someone give me the X39 patches, and I thought, oh, how could this patch work? And on it, my desk, it sat. And in the meantime, I'm praying to God to please find me a solution. How am I going to do this? My goal was to retire. I want to do some missionary work, and there's no way I can do that if I'm sick. So needless to say, one day I was really, really sick. And so I decided, oh, it can't hurt to put a patch on. I stuck a patch on that morning, and I attended a meeting that night. By 5 o'clock that night, I was out of pain, and I have not been in pain since. 2 months later, I went to Virginia Mason, and I went to an RA specialist, and all my inflammation was gone, and I now am negative from vasculitis. Since then, I have taken I'm taking half of what I used to for my thyroid, not my thyroid medication, my antidepressant medication. So it's been 6 months, and it's like every single month something else gets better. I was allergic to everything I ate because I had leaky gut from the E. coli that almost killed me in 2019 before COVID. And then I got COVID. So yeah, I'm lucky to be here, but I have not taken an allergy pill in 3 months. I can now eat anything I want. I eat dairy, I eat wheat. I couldn't even eat any of those things. None of those things. I would have been so sick. I was on it was the gal that actually I'd hired to cook for me. I was too sick to actually cook for myself. That's how sick I was. And she was the one, she's a nutritionist, and she's the one that gave me the patches and introduced me to Tracey, and I'll just never could repay. There's just no way to repay someone. And it's just been uphill since then. I've been on melatonin for 10 years. I just last week, Tracey, stopped the melatonin.
Yay! Good job.
Yep. Huge. It's huge. I mean, I'm just chipping away. I also used patches on my cat, very similar to her dog story. Very, very similar. All his hair was falling out, and I'd only been using I knew the patches had cured me from the vasculitis. I took him to the vet, and they said, he's going to be gone in probably the next two months. You'll be putting him down. Riddled, full of inflammation, and also the big C word that we're not supposed to say, but he had it. So diagnosed with it. I started putting my used patches on it, and all of his hair's grown back. And today he's like a 5-year-old kitten. Plays, jumps. I had to move my litter box upstairs for him. I had to use move food up for him. I had to put him on the bed. He couldn't even get on the bed. Now he's zooming up and down stairs, and I can't wait to take him back to the vet. And I am going to pay for the x-ray because I want to show her what it's done so she can help others. That's my story. I hope
Wow, that's amazing. I love that. And please share those x-rays with us when you get
Oh,
them. That would be
sure.
so amazing.
Yeah.
So very, very cool. Thank you so
Thank
very
you.
much. I love hearing how this has changed people's lives. So I'm here to share screen. There we go. And okay. So on here, you'll see, you'll hear a boat going by. But you'll see a photo here of Carla's dad, who is the picture on the right. So this older gentleman here who's kind of doesn't have very much hair on the top of his head. The older picture is actually the one with more wrinkles on his face, the one on the right. And he's about 88 in this picture. He wasn't patching to win any beauty pageants, but he was using our skin, our patch that's really, really good for skin, cartilage, and collagen production, because it is also super helpful for the frontal lobe of the brain. But guess what? In this picture on the left, he's actually 2 years older, and he's faithful with the X39 patch. He's faithful with the Alavita patch. And he had also fallen, and his torn rotator cuff was healed at 90 years old. I cannot stress that enough. That's pretty cool. So
Amazing.
pretty good. So now we had this before where we were struggling getting it to advance. Okay. Is this the next screen? Okay.
You're good.
Great. So we're talking about reactivating stem cells this evening. The way that we do that here in the United States traditionally there have been options of getting like cord blood, stem cell harvested, and then somebody injected with somebody else's DNA. That is now illegal, and for good reasons, but also it's somebody else's DNA. You do have to go to another country now for that, and hopefully they are ethically sourced, but we don't know. It is very expensive and not always effective. Other options that we have in the United States are PRP, that's plasma-rich platelets, and that's where they pull and inject. They draw a blood draw from the depths of your bones, and they help sort out the stem cells and replicate them and re-inject your joints and areas from that. It's painful, it's invasive, and not always super effective. And like we talked about, the older you get, the less stem cell activity you have. So I have a 90-year-old client who literally cannot, his doctor told him that he was not going to be eligible for this type of stem cell injection. So what do we have? We have options. We would love to present to you a phototherapy patch. That means it is it's a wearable patch, and photo means light, therapy means therapy, fixing things, and it is reflecting back your own infrared light back at yourself at different frequencies. It works on your acupressure points. It works on the meridians of the body, and it moves energy around. Light is energy, right? So this is a patented wearable wellness device. It is not medicine in any way. It's activated by your body heat and reflects your own light, like we talked about. You wear it for 12 hours on, and then you take it off for 12 hours. And then you repeat that every day. And of course, you drink plenty of water because osmosis or the cells run on water. Everything has to do with water. LifeWave is a unique company. This product is unique because the human body, your own body, is the source of the light. Lasers and lights have been a way of healing for many years, or surgery, or different things. But in this case, we are the source of light. So this is what you can expect by when you activate your own repair cells. And we have the wake of a boat going behind us. We're not trying to make you jealous or anything.
It's kind of cracking me up.
So
It's so noisy out here.
these are some of the things that you can when you activate your own cellular activity in a good, positive way. You can expect rapid pain relief. It does reduce inflammation and support healing. And of course, it increases your energy. When you increase your how your cells work and actually give them what they need to work better, this light signal improves their efficiency and bumps up your energy. It enhances your skin appearance. That's one of the first things I noticed. And so many things. And this is all done without any chemicals, no side effects. There's no counter indications of using these patches. So it's pretty amazing. This is a patent. There's over 150 patents. Our inventor, David Schmidt, has over 150 patents on things that he has invented throughout the years. And this is proof that this increases wearing the patch, the X39 patch increases the copper peptide called GHKCU. It is not transdermal. So the immediate effects of what the X39 will do in your body, you'll experience an elevation of antioxidants and a decrease in inflammation. You will receive better sleep. Using this daily helps us have more energy during the day and a better quality of sleep at night. It's pretty amazing. So we have a health tracker, and I can put that. Tracey doesn't know where I have that stored on my computer. So when I get back over to my computer, I'll share a health tracker. But just to know, like, please take notes. Like the x-rays that Cindy was talking about, like other notes. Like if we don't take notes of where your health concerns are now, and you start using them, sometimes things get lifted that you're not even expecting, or sometimes when you're used to being in pain, or different things aching, you don't even notice. I mean, when it takes a few weeks to notice that they're gone if you're so used to living with a certain way. So please write down your experience, keep notes, take before and after photos, please. So the reason we have to share this with our friends and family and people we care about, and others, because this has been like the secret sauce in the athletic world. The company has been around for over 20 years, but you'd think something this cool everybody would know about it and be like, oh yeah, I heard about that. Well, it was the secret sauce. So what professional or Olympian athlete is going to share their secrets of their success with the world if they want to continue having that competitive edge? But as our company grew and the patches kept coming out, in 2019, our X39 came out. And that is the one that signals the body to make that GHK copper peptide. And the copper peptide is what is responsible for stimulating your stem cells. And so that exploded the company. And so that is the pretty amazing. So it's since then, the company has grown more than 100-fold. So it's been quite amazing, the growth. So what do you expect when you start wearing these patches? What happens to your body is pretty amazing. In the first few days, over a third of your genome, we only have 21,000 genes, a little bit over 21,000 genes in our whole body. A third of them get reset to a younger state in the first 24 hours. It causes apoptosis of cells that are replicating poorly, and then you get these brand new repair cells going to march and do repairs around your body that your body is calling for. Within 1 to 3 months, there are physical, mental, and emotional changes. You will notice a brighter, happier, hopeful attitude and mood. That's certainly something that I noticed. And it is not uncommon for that GHK copper peptide. So you keep, the longer you wear them, the more repairs keep happening and the more things that you notice. There was a study in the cardiovascular system where every participant wore the patches for 6 weeks. They took their cardiovascular biomarkers at the beginning of the test and at the end, and the participants' age, you know how you can get your age markers done? Well, you can say, I'm biologically, I have lived on this year, chronologically, I have lived on this earth however many years, but biologically, my age is according to these biomarkers and different tests. These people who participated in this test reverse aged by 8 weeks. So literally making the biomarkers a day and a third, it's like every day that you wear the patch, you're growing a day and a third younger. It's pretty amazing. And we'll show you some photos of people that are pretty hard to believe, except we know these people.
Yeah.
So
They're
there are real people. You don't have to be an expert in this. There's a wonderful website, and I highly recommend that you write this website down. This is a wealth of information about these patches. There's videos, the patents are here. There's so much great information. The studies, clinical studies, and here on this age reversal tab where it says with GHK copper peptide, those are all the different ways that we can claim and say that this is reversing age, not just anti-aging. And then there's 50 years of research on GHK copper peptide. It's not our own thing that we made up 20 years ago. There's 50 years of research about how amazing copper peptides are. And this is some of those amazing things about copper peptides. So GHK stands for that GHK copper peptide. It tops the list of over 1,300 compounds that are used to treat chronic pulmonary issues. So if you know somebody who has a chronic lung condition, please consider this. And it does oxygenate. There's proof of this oxygenating, helping your lungs oxygenate you better. So it's pretty amazing. Fast growing cells. I'm sure you guys can put 2 and 2 together and figure out what that means. This also topped the list for an effective treatment or an effective way to pause their growth in colon cells. It helps reset the apoptosis of cells that are replicating poorly. Apoptosis means cell death. And if there's a damaged cell that can be repaired, it does that. And I love this last one on the right-hand side. It says it resets 84 genes to inhibit those fast-growing cells. Now, again, we're all talking about these are bullet points from studies on GHK copper peptide. We can go to PubMed and find this information. So let's show you some experience. Again, these are pictures of people wearing the patches. The top picture is Tracey's husband. This is, you can see where he was wearing the patches. This is after a surgery, and you can see the next day, this is overnight results of one of the patches and how much it improved and repaired in the bruising area. You can see the incision. This is just overnight results in him healing. Pretty amazing. And down below here, I know if anybody is having a surgery or knows anybody who has had a surgery, this is photo proof by a plastic surgeon who was doing a case study with the patches. And the two ladies on the right, he determined they started using the patches about a month prior to their surgery. And then they kept patching after the surgery. Those ladies at 10 days after the surgery, he determined were at the same place that it took the lady who wasn't patching 5 weeks to get to. So just to give you an example of the power of the patch. This is some, disc repair in the neck. You can see this X39. You can see, this is our friend, Dr. Harmon. He looks older before he was patching. His hair literally did change color back to normal, or a browner version of his normal hair. This is our friend, Marcy, who had a pretty incredible experience with the patches, with her fast growing cells situation. And she is now 3 years free of all that stuff. And I love this study. This is a study or just a view of one person who was 77. They did a brain health study, and in 6 weeks, this is somebody going from a very hot brain. She happened to have cognitive decline in her brain. And with 6 weeks, and you can see it with the red hot in there. We're not supposed to be red. That's inflammation. And then in 6 weeks of patching, you can see the aqua, the amount of aqua on her brain, and that it's cool and then it's balanced. That only took 6 weeks. And this lady was 77 during this study. That's pretty amazing. Now, we heard about patching for pets from both of our testimonies, and this dog on the right is a family friend of Tracey's, and this dog had gone blind in August, and his owner learned about these patches in December and started patching him, and these are the results in a few days, like a week.
1 week.
Of patching. So that's pretty
That is
amazing.
Yeah.
But these have been used on animals for lots of years. But again, the company, we have one pack of patches that's marketed to animals. That's called AccuLife, which is like our ice wave. It's for acute pain. But so the company cannot say, use these on your pets, but as we're showing you, you can have some pretty great results. Is this you, Miss Tracey?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going
okay.
to switch over, and Tracey's going to share with you some of our things that we've been learning about how to use these patches in combinations.
Yeah, these have been pretty amazing to get to see and learn. And I have had a few friends confess that they've put botulism in their face, and it shudders because I understand what toxins do to the body, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But I just Just trust me. Don't do it. Use some patches. Let your own collagen fill in and erase those wrinkles. Hyaluronic acid can come back too. That does so much more than just pretty skin too. But we have a gut regeneration system, which the gut and the brain are really closely connected. And when the gut is out of balance and it has toxins and inflammation, it's not absorbing its nutrients. And that is often the cause for anxiety and depression in the brain. It really often is not always a trauma response. It can be a diet and a gut health response. And so utilizing these 4 patches here for 18 days has made such a change. My own daughter lost 35 pounds in 18 days and is a changed person. She finally sleeps. Anxiety and depression are so much better. We can go in more detail if anyone has specifics on that too. Knees, bone on bone. It can be shoulder. It can be anything in the body that has worn out that protective mechanism called cartilage. Probably all familiar with our beloved cartilage. We have a lot of it when we're young and not so much when we get old. But there is the ability with a combination of patches to regenerate. And we've actually had a few of our own personal friends cancel knee replacement surgeries because of patching. So that's a pretty great thing. My own mother-in-law got to cancel her shoulder replacement surgery after 3.5 months because the pain went away. And nothing to be sad about missing a surgery, right? So making sure you get the most out of these. So really, we're looking at wearing these about 12 hours on and 12 hours off. What we're really doing is mimicking the natural Mother Nature light. We've got 12 hours of light, 12 hours of dark. We're doing the same with our patches. Drinking lots of water. That's about half your body weight in ounces. We're eating healthy, good foods. We're trying to minimize those processed foods, especially soda pop and things like that that are just empty calories. That's not good for our body, and it's not helping our body regenerate those natural things like cells and collagen. Vitamins are important, especially magnesium and copper. Getting rest, exercise, all of that good stuff. I'm going to just cover really quickly here our 2 patches that bring back and reactivate our repair cells, X39 being our holy grail of repair, and X49. That one is activating a different peptide, not copper peptide, but AHK, copper peptide, and it is helping with metabolism and muscle generation, bone density, electromagnetic frequency protection. And if you were to purchase these at retail, it is really not a bad thing to pay $150 for a 30-day supply. We have people paying, $30,000, $50,000 to go to another country to get the pluripotent, really strong stem cell injection. So if you can get them for a cup of coffee a day, it's a bargain. We love to do it in a wholesale kit. Cami and I like to sell these at our own cost, and that's $99.95 a month. We have some other patches. She's talked about Eon reducing inflammation, Ice Wave blocking pain, Carnosine helping repair organs, brain and heart, especially with improved cardiovascular flow. Glutathione, the body's master antioxidant, that's opening detox pathways in the liver. And we have Energy Enhancer, the first one he ever created for the Navy SEALs. 20 years ago. What that is doing, and why Michael Phelps won all those medals in Beijing way back when, is he was wearing these patches on his stomach. He was burning his fat for fuel. It's fuel for the mitochondria. That's the powerhouse of the cell. Bonus thing for us, especially us ladies, it burns an extra 300 to 600 calories a day when you're using that. So that is a great thing. It's really working on lymphatic flush, which we all need to do. SP6 is a beautiful one. If you have blood sugar issues, if you have cravings control issues, it works on the hypothalamus of the brain. That's our endocrine regulator for hormones. And it is really amazing for insulin, pancreas, adrenals, a lot of different things. Silent Night, one of my personal favorites for quite a while. I will tell you, I used this religiously every night because I wasn't only sleeping in 2-hour increments. I was going through the change of life and I had hot flashes every 2 hours, day and night. I lost my brain, literally. I had to retire at age 56. I hadn't planned on that, but my brain decided I needed to because I couldn't do my job. But this little purple patch here, wow, it took a couple weeks before I really noticed it, but then it helped me rebuild my own melatonin. We don't really want to use the synthetic versions. It's really not healthy. But I no longer use that one because my body has now sustained a high level of melatonin and I sleep like a baby. My dreams, amazing. Dreams are critically important for detox and also to help purge the toxins out of the brain. So pricing on these supportive patches is about half the price of those, the activation repair cell patches, about $80 for 30 at retail. And then they can be as low as $49.95 for 30 patches when we buy them in our initial wholesale package, or if we order 3 or more. They never have to be the same 3, by the way. You can mix and match, which we love to do. And we also have, oh, this is my favorite, aloe vera. This is what stopped my hot flashes. This is what helped rebuild my brain. This is working on oxidative stress in the body. It brings back another peptide and it activates and supercharges our own collagen, works on the frontal lobe of the brain. So that is the production point of melatonin. And so when you use this along with the silent night, wow, you really get a good deep sleep. And then you can phase these things out when you reach that goal level, maybe go on maintenance mode, use on occasion thereafter. I still use this every day or every night, I should say, because I just want better skin. They call it the trophy wife patch. I'm almost 60 and I need all the help I can get. And why not? This is all my own stuff, so let's do it. It's clean, it's great stuff. And there is a natural day cream and a night cream I absolutely love. This is a screaming bargain deal because if you've ever bought any cosmetics at a cosmetic counter, you can pay $150 for an eye cream. You can pay, a lot of money for a very high-end cream. These are the highest end creams I've ever used with no chemicals in them. But I also got too much of the patches for $150. So great deal. I love it. And so now this is the new part for those of you who've been on this before. And I'm sorry if it seems like we went a little quick, but we want to give you enough time to really understand what is happening in the body and what makes this work. So it's clinically proven. We have over 100 clinical trials done around the globe. A lot of them are peer-reviewed studies. These are not company-done studies. They are legitimate, and these really do what they say they do. But what it's doing, again, as Cami shared, was that GHK is what brings back the stem cell production, and the stem cells are what repair and regenerate. So we sometimes wonder, why do some people get a more quick result and others might take longer? It really comes down to what variables you have in your body, the toxic load, how many chemicals have you been exposed to in your life, your epigenetics, your diet, your age. Age 35, you lost half those stem cells. We don't require them bounce back like regenerate, and bounce back like we used to, and especially by the time we're age 60. We have so few left to do that. But genetics, diet, stress, EMF, electromagnetic frequency, that's radiation. And that can be microwave or Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. That really can do damage to our cells. And inflammation is really the root cause of all disease. It is just irritation, swelling, hot in that, like Cami showed you in the brain. So for those of you who might be using these and you might wonder, gee, why maybe I haven't noticed anything right away? The reality is, whether you notice it and feel it, the minute you put these patches on, they go to work. They are no different than turning on a light switch in your body. The light response we get in our home when we turn on that switch is immediate. It is in our body too, but here's the reality. You can't feel your cellular change. We're working at the root cause of issue. And you can't feel when your cells are declining. You can't feel when you are getting that C word, diabetes, dementia, high blood pressure. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But if you are not assessing what changes are happening in your body systematically, you might be guessing and wondering. And we're just here to tell you, if you do measurements of your biomarkers, and I do my blood work now every 6 months for fun, because it's pretty awesome to watch my numbers only get better and better and better as I get older. I genetically am getting younger. Well, chronologically, I'm getting older. How many people can say that? But we're looking at blood work. We're looking at, how many prescriptions do we take? How are we sleeping? What's our energy? How's our pain level? What's our mood? How many senior moments do we have? And I've heard some people say they didn't notice the change, but their kids noticed. They weren't losing their car keys all the time. They didn't walk into a room like, why did I come here? So there's little, telltale signs that start changing. Skin, we start to feel smooth, baby soft skin right away. Hydration goes up. So keep those things in mind, really important. Inflammation, critically important that we address that, because if you ignore it, you're allowing your body, basically you've put a pot on the stove and it's boiling, and that boil gets bigger and bigger and it creates bigger and bigger problems. And you ignore a pot in your house long enough and you could have a smoldering house at some point, right? Our bodies are no different. So when we have those pains and aches, don't ignore them. We need to address those. We need to figure out, what is the cause? But here's the cool thing about these patches. They need no diagnosis. They need no doctor. The body is innately intelligent to repair itself. These are just simply tools to let the body do that. Fat can be a protection mechanism. And sometimes, when we're gaining weight, it actually is protecting our body. And skin breakouts, that can also be telling you something's not right too. But I love this here, that Eon patch. This is a heat mapping sensory illustration. And on the left here, we see the back, that red and orange, that is actual inflammation in that back. 5 minutes after applying this Eon patch, that has really greatly reduced. And this is looking at the lower back, and again, greatly reduced. I've had some people tell me after they've slammed a finger in the door or something, or have a giant swollen foot, put that Eon patch on there and they can actually visibly watch it come down. Pretty great. So maybe you're not getting the result that you really want, and you might experience something along the process that might be a little alarming. You might feel like, gee, am I getting the flu? That actually is not a bad thing if you should get one of these, because these are all signs of detox. The toxins that live in our body have the ability to do a lot of damage, and they are the root cause of problems. But don't be alarmed. And if this happens, you can always take the X39. That is one of our first patches for detox, mid-level. It's raising your own glutathione about 30%. But if you start to get cramps or headache, it's usually a sign of dehydration, and you need to drink more water. If that wasn't enough, then take the patch off, save that backing. You can use that patch another time, but try and eat some water-rich foods, drink more water, get those toxins flushing out of the body. Don't let your body hold on to them, because I'm going to show you in a few minutes what they manifest as. Rash can be a sign of toxins coming out the body. Occasionally, it can just be a heat issue, condensation, especially if it's a hot day like today and you're wearing a patch. You can get a little irritation. You might just simply move that patch from one side to the other rather than placing the patch repetitively, always in that same spot. When you do add that glutathione, that is a no joke kind of patch. This is the big guns of antioxidant reduction, and it's going after the free radicals, the COVIDs, the molds, the virus, bacteria, anything that shouldn't be in the body, it gets out. Start that one gently, gingerly. Give your body at least 10, 12 days on X39 and Eon before you add glutathione. And maybe start only with 6 hours, check in, see how you do. Toxic buildup. Let's talk about that, because this lady was me. I had brain fog, headaches, insomnia, exhaustion, weight around my middle. Not so irritable. I'm kind of a tolerant person, but I did have a lot of skin problems. I've always had hormonal issues. I had a lot of these things, but what I didn't realize, no doctor ever told me, I actually had an autoimmune condition because my toxicity had built up so dramatically that it attacked my thyroid. And I had been on levothyroxine for 15 years after the birth of my youngest son, because the toxins attacked my thyroid. No doctor tested me for this or anything. They just told me I needed to take this prescription. I took their word and I did it. I know so much more now. Don't take the doctor's words for things, okay? Let's go to a naturopath. Let's get to the root cause, because I could have fixed this way, way, way before these patches fixed it for me. Thankfully, 4.5 months after I wore these patches, a lot of my menopause symptoms returned. I went to my medical doctor. I told him I don't think the patches are working for me anymore. He informed me my thyroid likely had regenerated from the patches. And he said, I don't think you probably need levothyroxine. I think the symptoms you have are an over medication response. Lo and behold, we did blood work, and thank you, Lifewave and David Schmidt. I no longer use that medicine, and I'm off of all my prescription. I was on an anti-anxiety for sleep prior to these patches as well. I sleep like a baby, feel fantastic. But really quickly, let's talk about our drainage system in our body. So our cells are, that's the root cause of everything. That is the thing to celebrate. And that's the thing to fear if they aren't healthy. Our organs, our tissues, if they're absorbing our toxins because our lymphatic system isn't able to carry the toxins out, or we're not working out and exercising enough with like a rebound or running to get that lymphatic system flowing, or our liver or our bile ducts get clogged, or our colon, we are setting ourselves up for a lifetime of issues, and it's a spiral down. Skin, kidney, and lungs, those are always awesome indicators of what's happening. And if you've got beautiful glowing skin and you don't have any breakouts, that's a telltale sign that maybe you're okay. Kidneys can be a problem if you don't manage and get out those toxins. But this to me was pretty shocking, because liver disease is on the rise in our country now. And it's not that it's just an alcohol issue. It used to years ago. If you had cirrhosis of the liver, people thought, hitting the bottle too much, shame on them. But guess what? Our new lifestyles of go, 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 fast food, not taking enough time for us, not taking time to relax and detoxify. We now have got 12-year-old kids that have fatty liver syndrome. That is shocking. And this is the filtration system of our body. And if it is not healthy, it makes it very hard for the rest of our body to be healthy. The good news is the liver was designed to regenerate. And when we are utilizing a combination of patches, it helps accelerate that. But real quickly, I just want to take you down a quick little glimpse here of what is the cause of disease. Ultimately, they are finding it is the long-term exposure to viruses and bacteria, fungus, and parasites. And all of those things cause that immune system to collapse. And when Cindy was telling you she had E. coli and Lyme's disease, that was her immune system that was no longer able to keep her healthy. So these pathogens, like parasites, they want to live off of us. They're not going to kill us. There's viruses out there. They get into our cells. They weaken our immune system, and they can do that for many, many years before we even know it. And bacteria, it can really become a problem and chronic, creating long-term effects. A lot of this, though, if you look back at pictures of people on beaches 50 years ago, you didn't see a lot of beer bellies. You didn't see a lot of big women. You saw very trim, beautiful people that were not workout nuts. A lot of why they were so healthy was the toxins that they did not have 50, 60 years ago, like I can't even say it, glyphosate. There we go. That is the toxin in Roundup, a pesticide. And it's not so much those of us in the garden are spraying this. Think of your food. Think of all those crop fields out there that get sprayed. Think of those crop workers out there that get sprayed when those crops are getting, it's just so sad the damage this does and gets trapped in our bodies. Pesticides, diet from a box or a bag or fast food, heavy metals, amalgam fillings are not great. Aluminum, especially aluminum in vaccines. That's really a big one, especially for cognitive decline. We have a couple big ones. One starts with a P, one starts with an A. You probably know what I'm talking about. These things settle in on the brain. The good news is we can reverse that damage. And Eric's father was diagnosed with rapid onset A-word cognitive decline. And in 90 days, with a combination of patches, we were able to detoxify his brain, get a lot of those metals, toxins out, get the blood flow going, repairing cells. He got some words back in 90 days. And 5 months later, he not only got the words, he got memories and, more importantly, personality and sense of humor. So we have all the Cliffisms and the great dad jokes, and which we love. But for us women, cosmetics, and why I'm so excited about all that aloe vera is the cosmetics we put on our skin. Anything topical goes directly into our bloodstream, and you go read those ingredients. I don't think you want a lot of that stuff floating in your bloodstream. Indoor air pollution, outgassing from products in our home. That can be carpet, furniture, laundry, dryer sheets, hugely, hugely bad for our bodies. there was a study by an environmental working group, and I stole some of these images from Dr. Harmon. He's a great friend of ours. I know he wouldn't mind, but I thought this was shocking. And I want to show you a little of this. I hope you don't mind if we go a couple minutes over, but I think this is pretty important and astonishing to help us understand the root cause. Why do I have what I have? And why might not this go away overnight with 1 or 2 Band-Aids? Okay. Because I want to give these patches a fair shake, give them some time and you'll be amazed. But they looked at 10 Americans, excuse me, for toxins. And this was in 2004 they did this study. They found 287 toxins in these 10 Americans' bloodstream. 212 of those toxins were banned 30 years before they even did these tests. 28 of them were waste byproducts, should have never been in the body. They should be in the garbage dump. 47 were in consumer product ingredients. Then they started asking, well, where did they get these from? Did they get them from their food? Did they get them in their drinking water? And the answer to both of those were no, they were not. And these people were not farmers. They were not factory workers. They were not working around toxic chemicals in any way. The only thing that this group that was studying who these 10 Americans were that had this ridiculous high toxicity, the only thing they knew, drum roll please, is they looked like this. These little embryos, they actually did genetic blood biopsies out of 10 of them. And that is what astonishing, horrifying information they found. So our health is often predetermined when we're still in utero in our mother's stomach. And it's called epigenetics as an example of, a lot of what we end up dealing with later in life. We don't have these problems when we're 8, 10, 12, 20, 25, 30 years old because it is those stem cells that keep our body regenerating, repairing, and preventing a lot of these things. But it's when we lose the stem cells that give the body the ability to keep it healthy that we start to go down a pretty scary path. So just keep that in mind. And why it might take some time because we have tired cells if we are not feeling well, low mitochondria function, low energy, and we have toxic buildup, and the cells they can't duplicate, they can't repair, and they are just really literally in survival mode. They're trying to keep us upright and moving, but they're struggling when they're dealing with all these toxins. And a lot of these toxins really get stored in our tissues, our fat, our kidney, liver, and the brain. And the more damage occurs, the more it leads to apoptosis, the death of those cells that we really have depended on to keep us young and vibrant. But that genetic weakness, we've talked about some of these things, the brain, the heart, the kidney, and especially that gut. I cannot tell you how important a healthy gut is. And the fewer times you go through the drive-through, the better. Try and eat those good, healthy foods, organic especially. But real quickly, if you would like to give these a try and help your body have a very incredible tool that helps reverse the damage that, the toxic world we all live in and the things that we might have inherited genetically from our parents and ancestors, it is very affordable. And rather than paying $150 for a month of the X39, you really need to be utilizing these for 1 month for every decade you are old to reach the deep level of cellular repair. That's David Schmidt, the inventor's recommendation. So, 1 month at $150 is really not enough. So if you were to do 2 months of just that one, you'd be looking at $300, right? But we all like to do this at our wholesale price. So a silver kit is $300. That's a one-time only, but check this out. We can get you 3X39. I wouldn't recommend 3X39, however, because you really have got to get your inflammation under control. We all have it, whether you know it or not, it's there, and it is the eater of stem cells. So we like to pair X39 and Eon together. And we can get you, 2 months of X39 and 2 months of Eon for the cost of just 2 months of X39 at retail. That's a bargain. If you want to do that gut regeneration, we can actually customize every one of these packages. We can get you 5 different packs for $300. if we're just getting you one X39 with 4 supportive patches, that's a great way to go. That would be great for one person. If you've got a family, household, you want to share this with some people you care about, the gold pack, that's what I did. I got enough for me and my mom. I love my mom and I wanted to turn back the hands of time for her. So we got a lot of nice patches and we got a free supportive pack of our choice. If you've got a lot of things going on, a large family, or perhaps you would like to share this with a lot of people, the diamond kit is a really fantastic way to get the lowest price point as well. But really what we're talking about is the power of light, the power of a patch, life-changing for so many of us. All of these come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. And if you would like to place an order, we encourage you to get back to the person who invited you tonight. And if that person isn't on this call and you need some help, reach out to Cami or I. We are happy to assist, but odds are the person who got you to join us is happy to assist you too. The word has gotten out about this, and because this is a historic breakthrough product, patented with a global 20-year patent, it's making big headways around the world. But sadly, in our country, because of our FDA, who wants to protect us from ourselves, this company cannot advertise. But the rewards of sharing this to somebody are just priceless. I mean, helping somebody get beyond E. coli and Lyme's disease, who couldn't even cook for herself, to having a full life. And now she wants to share and change lives too. The company does give us a thank you check if you were to share this with somebody. It's a great way to get your own patches paid for or more, boost your bank account. It is the fastest growing direct marketing company for the second year in America, because there's really nothing out there better than, your own body's repair cells coming back, and the company is just exploding. So we'd love to be able to help you learn more if that is of interest, or if you just simply want to focus on your health, that is fantastic too. There are great ways and tools. We have podcasts many nights of the week that you can tune in, learn people sharing their testimonies. We love Dr. Stacy every Tuesday night. She has her health practitioner on, and wow, Dr. Phil last week was absolutely amazing. Wednesday nights, our friend Marcy, she does a patching party at 4 o'clock Pacific time. We have this in Spanish on Thursday nights and English later in the night. And again, every Tuesday night, Cami and I, we just feel so blessed for the changes in our lives and our families' lives that we have dedicated 1 hour every Tuesday. It's not too much for us to give for all the rewards it gives us. So we're here. Bring your friends, send them, and we're happy to share this so you never have to be feeling like you need to be an expert. We'll do that for you. And again, Wednesday is Marcy. But again, thank you so much for allowing me to go a little bit over on time. And hopefully the new information we shared is of value and helps you understand this a little bit more. And, again, another thing we borrowed from Dr. Harmon. Cami and I just adore that man, but we adored this slide so much. So figured out what we want to be when we get older, and that's younger. So we're going to keep turning back the hands of time. We hope you will too, but we would love to open this up now to questions. If anyone has questions, we'll stop sharing this, and you can unmute yourself, and we're happy to answer questions. Anybody have a question for us? Did I see Jeff's hand go up? Okay, Jeff, would you like to unmute yourself? Are you able to do that?
There we go.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so I take a product called Pro Tandem, which is restoring the mitochondria. I'm very familiar with a lot of everything that you guys spoke about, although I didn't know about the patches and I didn't know anything about this until I saw a few people wearing it. In fact, I saw you, Cami, but I was at my service last week and the lady in front of me had a patch on her neck.
Mhm.
And I thought, well, that's what Cami was talking about. So I didn't know about the patching thing, but here's my question. Downside, if any, has there been a downside to this at all that you know of?
No, the nice thing with these is there's no medication side effects because nothing is entering the bloodstream. So you don't have to worry about side effects. There is really no negative aspect at all. The only people that really should not use a patch are people who've recently had an organ transplant. because they're on autoimmune suppressant drugs, and these are reversing, detoxifying the body. And it's not that, they can never, it's just not recommended. This company is not going to recommend that, but I do know of people who've had their organ, 10 years more, and they use these and love these. And that they feel that it prevents them from getting the next organ transplant. The other person who probably should not use the X39 or glutathione on chemotherapy day would be one of those fast-growing cells patients, because they're paying a lot of money to have those toxins put in their body to kill those fast-growing cells. And if we come along with a patch and we're detoxifying, that kind of defeats the whole purpose. But I've helped several people going through that process come through and have a beautiful recovery, making their life more manageable through that process with these patches. So I don't know, Cami, do you want to add anything else to that?
No, yeah, there's no contraindications, no downside. There's a 30-day money back guarantee for purchasing. Like we do say, like we keep track. If you have biomarkers, there really is no downside. So
thank you for that. I'm aware of how the FDA, they want to make sure that we stay sick.
Yeah, they do.
And I understand the history of where that all was born. And when it was born, America got sicker. So I'm very, very aware, but I'm going to try this for me personally. I'm going to try this because, Cindy, your story blew my mind. Unmute yourself.
So I'll confess, we love Cindy's testimonials so much.
I would be here before these patches. I was making my will. I really didn't think I was going to make it. I was misdiagnosed with E. coli for 4 months. I don't know how I survived that. I just don't, other than I don't eat chemicals. I ate better than most people. I hadn't eaten a store-bought egg until I was 13 years old. So I had great nutrition growing up. I think the only thing that saved me was that. I did have thyroid issues from my grandmother, but I had traveled to Mexico. It's much more than that. I actually traveled to Mexico and went to a clinic that was kicked out of the United States because they were helping people with fast growing cells as well, naturally. And I can't wait to get there and show them about the patches if they don't know about them, because they're very, very much in this. And I was trying to work their system, but when I had nothing. I'm still trying to grow back and it'll take me time. I can't go to the bathroom by myself because it literally destroyed everything from my mouth all the way to the other end. I don't have the muscles to get material to move through. But these patches were the very first thing that I thought, they are the most significant improvement I have had, and I continue to make improvement. I started making a list each time I improve on something.
How long ago did you start the patches?
6 months.
6 months ago. Okay.
6 months. I suffered for 5 years, and I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to get better.
So I'm always looking for something like this product because I'm very aware of what managed care is all about. But the body's a miracle. I had a brain aneurysm and I survived it. I was supposed to die within 3 minutes. 2 weeks later, they discovered it. I'm also a stage 4 cancer person.
Wow.
And I began to find out that the stuff that they were telling me that I needed to take was actually killing me and making doctors rich.
Yep.
So I'm very, very interested in all of this stuff. This is another thing that I can put in my wheelhouse now.
Absolutely. And I'll be honest, it's